right. So, anyways, welcome to, I guess, Mobro Shop Talk. Kind of late today, so we kind of just doing a lot of things. We're all busy. This week's going to be a really busy week for us. We're going to have, I think, 2 or 3 closings this week, and getting those deals set up, and then locked in, and then we got to figure out what we're gonna, the strategies we got. We got to pick strategies out for some of those houses already, on what we're gonna do. So it's a busy week. We got a lot of things going on. We're trying to keep on top of the stuff that we already have, and also the stuff that we're looking to do. For my brothers down in San Antonio, they've been busy. I know Gabriel's doing a flip right now on a property. Gary's managing. Gary's doing some management down in San Antonio, and so we're both doing that. This is my brother Gerard coming in hot for everybody. But so Gary's doing managing the property, which is good. Get his feet wet. It'd be his first property he gets to manage, be a landlord. Which is one of the good things to do, and the first thing to do when you're starting out in real estate, because it gets you around everything. Learn the properties, learn how to manage tenants, learn how to manage billing, and all that other stuff. So I think it's a really good thing for him to get started with. And so all that, for right now, what we're doing. For me up here in Philadelphia, I think we have one subject we're going to close out this week, and we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to try to do a flip on that one, a flipopotamus on that house. But it obviously takes some time. We got to get things moved around for the most part, getting that one set up. Then we got a bunch of other houses I think we're going to buy, me and Gerard, and we're going to go ahead and get those. I think they're squatter deals, which is, it's like buying a storage locker. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know how it's going to turn out, but you kind of take a little bit of risk with it, but you get it at deep discount. And so hopefully we can get those turned around and then get those going on. So, but anyways, how's it going, Gerard?
It's going good. It's been a long weekend.
Long weekend.
But we got a lot of stuff coming up this week too. So it's gonna be a long week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long week. I gotta figure out what the time everything's gonna go on and how's that gonna work. But it's it is what it is. You just gotta keep pushing. I know I was trying with the title company this week, and trying to get them to send out emails so everybody can understand what's going on. But not everybody's great at communication. I find with the business world, not everybody is good at communicating. And I think one thing that we try to do with ourselves, I think me and Gerard talk on the phone like at least once a day or something. I don't know. We talk a lot, we go over what we're doing and try to keep that communication door open. And I think for any business, you can never have too much communication. You know what I mean? We can always over communicate. So, but anyways, so Gerard, you ready to get started this week? Because I think this week's going to be our week, I think.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully, we get rid of our money and invest.
It is. I was like, how much money do you want to get rid of? What's our risk position in all this? Because I mean, scared money doesn't make money. I don't know if we want to say that though, because I don't know if that's a big thing. But you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money maybe to get what you want going fast. I don't know.
And calculated investments, and calculated investments. Scared money doesn't make money. If you're a gambler and stuff like that, that doesn't apply.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, I think with the deals we have now, and talking about like subject to deals, man, we're just getting those left and right and making those become a thing. And if anybody wants to do that, man, that's just something that I highly suggest to do, to get into a property fairly quickly. Get it subject to the mortgage. And it's just one of the strategies that it's working very well for us right now. I think I think we got 3 right now subject to, which is good. I mean, it's good to have those, but
subject twos that you're getting though are just off the wall. There's a lot of meat on the bone. It's not a typical, you kind of just take over my payment, and I just bought the house and I can't afford it anymore. The ones you're getting are the ARVs. It has a lot of value already. And that's what makes it a good investment. So that's why those are the ones we're jumping on, and in Philly's blowing up. I mean, you're making it happen over there.
You know what I think too is that one of the things that you look at when you start doing some of this stuff is you look about solving problems and making sure. And I think the stuff that I've gone into, that I ran into with some of the subject twos, is just solving somebody's problem. It's not like they can't sell it, but they don't want to get into the whole tenant occupied, and I got to talk to the tenants about this and all this other stuff. And I go when I go to a couple of properties, I see that it's the landlord's just like done. They don't want to deal with it anymore. They don't even want to go. So I went to one property, the subject to that I talked about last week, and I met the landlord there, and she was just done. Like, she literally, like, she had a good relationship with the downstairs tenant, but a really bad relationship with the upstairs tenant, and it was not very good. And she was like, as soon as I opened the door upstairs to go look at the upstairs, to go see the upstairs tenant, she was like, okay, don't tell them I'm here. I don't want to be associated, just to let them know. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So I went up there and all this stuff. Just a bad blood, but she just didn't want to deal with it anymore. She's like, I'm done with it. I'm totally done with this. Give me some money and I'll just leave you with the mortgage. You do the payments. You deal with, their stuff, and, whatever. You run into that problems, but, that doesn't, I'm going to meet somebody who I'm going to have to get them vetted, their tenants or whatever, but that doesn't scare me away from a property. You know what I mean? Like, if the numbers are good.
We talked about that, and you even said that the issue that the tenant's having is not crazy. It's a drip.
Yeah.
And they were wouldn't be upset about losing, water and stuff. So you're able to identify the issue and the problem and fix it.
And I like, you know what I mean? Like, the numbers, I think it's a good way to things too. There's headaches that you're going to get if you're going to be in real estate, or you're going to be a landlord or any kind of management. You're going to get headaches. There's going to be people problems. You know that more than me as a boss, as a CEO, as a managing your own company. Like, there's the people problem. It is hard. You know what I mean? It's hard. That's where you make your money. You get to solve those problems, because those are the hardest problems you solve, dealing with people,
You know what? The human element, right? I mean, we're not all robots and things, and maybe in the future we'll have robots instead of men. But the human element, people mess up, people don't come in on times, or emergencies and all these. Everybody has, and for the most part, all my guys are good to go. But we do get those couple of guys that have issues, and we identify them. We try to work with them. We try to solve them. We try to train them. If that is, let them go, and we move on to somebody that can be that can learn.
Yeah, and I think anybody that wants to get into business or things, like, it's a relationship business. Like, it's a very strong relationship business. Any business, you have to deal with relationships. You know what I mean? And make that happen. So, if you're good with talking with people, if you're good with solving problems, like, real estate's a good way to do that, because every problem kind of has a solution. You just got to keep pushing it. You know what I mean? And I think I said this the other day. I was like, just the greatest thing about being in this country is that if you can solve enough problems, they let you make money. You know what I mean? They let you get money if you can solve enough problems. You know what I mean? So I think when we look at solving issues and things, every solution that you make is just an incremental step, to get to where you're going. And then you can think of what you can quantify that. Like, every step, every problem I solved, I made this much amount of money. Or every problem I try to do, I made this amount of money. You can't go into investment thinking it's going to be hands off, automatic. You know what I mean? Can't go into a situation. There's always going to be problems. So, but you just got to figure that out. And once you figure those out, you can make money from it. So when you go into business, I think that's kind of what you want to get started with. You want to say, like, I'm going to solve problems. I'm going to get in here, solve problems, and then make money, and if you solve enough problems, again, they let you make money. So that's a great thing about this country.
It's a blessing to be in a country that we live in, and that hopefully people realize and don't take it for granted, because we live in a country, and I know you've been everywhere in the Air Force, Jeff, all around the world, and we're a country everybody wants to come to, because they allow you to, as you work and whatever you put your mind to and your efforts into, you can be successful, and you can you can make money. It's all on your efforts. It's all on you.
Yeah,
And here's the opportunity to do it. But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you can have some good stuff, you can have some bad stuff. I got something coming up this week that you know the I got, and I fell into this hard money loan that I wanted to try out. It was a training exercise. It turns out okay for me, but yeah, you're learning. And
We talked about it earlier too. We thought me and Drew talk a lot, and I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. And it was like most successful people try a lot of things. They don't just stick with one process. They try to do as much things so they can figure out if that's a good thing to do, bad thing to do. But they have to try it, because if they don't try it, you never know. You know what I mean? And you can't grow from it if you don't have some kind of way to figure out, like, look, that was a great process. I'll do it better this way next time. You know what I mean? And try to keep your head in the game. And as long as we all know that, like, we know there's going to be processes that don't work, that break down, that will not be effective. You know what I mean? But figure out what those are, what the problems are, and if it's bad, then we get rid of it. If it's something that we can work on, we get better at it. Like, so I think anytime we try something, especially with like hard money loans and doing flips, doing those minor flips, those cosmetic ones, and like, let's see if we can just kind of make some money on it. And it's a good challenge for us. Like, let's see if we can do this, and if it works out, it works out. As long as you make friends along the way, I guess, and get a process down, we could do it again, again with maybe more forethought, and like, hey, let's look at the numbers really good this time, because when I ran into this is what happened, so.
no, when we talked earlier, and I want everybody to know too that what you said, you're like, I learned more from losses than when I win. I learned more from that, and I'm not saying I'm going to lose. I don't want to lose, and I don't think I will. But it's going to become close, and I'm really really looking at it. And wow, I got to take my time when making these decisions, and really look at the numbers. Steal is not always a steal until you really really look. So you got to make sure, and
Yeah.
it's good as learning, and anybody that's kind of trying to do a lot of things at once, really really look at the numbers.
When you get put in a position so many times, Gerard, like, you can see the numbers for what they are. You get put in that position so many times. It's hard when you have to react fast. Like, some things in real estate are like, you have to really know the area. You have to know the ARV. You have to know the price of rent. Like, what can you rent it for? What street's it on? Like, those things are make it very, very good to practice, because once you have a deal right in front of you, there's could be a guy who says, hey, look, man, I can sell it to you right now, or I can put it on the market and I want to bump it up 5K. So, and you're like, okay, well, I'm in that position. That's just sales, the way it is. Maybe they want to get you to buy it quick, which is fine. But if you know the numbers and you know where you're at with it and all this stuff and what things cost, and kind of like, hey, you kind of trust the guy a little bit, that you gone back to and bought stuff from him for a while, he knows what you're looking for. That's just a great thing. Like, okay, cool, I get it right now. He'll probably get 5 more K for it, but he has to do the work of putting it now. He can just come to me and I'll buy it from him, because he knows that, I'm a man of my word. I can close it down for him. And, but when you have to know your numbers, you have to kind of just know numbers, and how much this costs and how much does that do? And you can fairly quickly through this business,
Yeah, no, the fact at 50 already kind of knows
Yeah.
what I'm like. Yes, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even come to you with it. I don't even come to you if I don't know if you're not going to buy it.
Yes. But you know what? That going with this deal that I'm doing, I'm trying this hard money loan guide, and
Yeah.
I'm really building a team though. I have a good friend from my good friend, when I grew up, Robert Rahino, and he's gonna do the painting, and then I got my roofer guy. He's gonna do the roofing, and then I got a guy coming in to do the restroom and update it. So really building a team that we all benefit from. We can all use. So it won't be a loss at all. It's gonna be a win no matter what.
Yes, no losing. There won't be allowed. I won't allow it to lose.
I won't allow it. We won't allow it. Yeah.
I won't allow it to lose. That's good, famous last words. Like, he's like, dude, you can't lose, bro. But you got to have that. Look. You know what's funny is that they were talking about money, and everybody was like, well, how much do I risk? If I had this much amount of money, how much would you think you'd risk? And they're like, well, what's the amount of money you want to lose? Right? That's going to determine your risk factor. You know what I mean? The pucker indicator. You know what I mean? We call it in the aviation world, we have a power index. We call that's like all the limitations, the highest limitations that could happen. Some things could go wrong. It's a power index. And guys like, what do you call it? A PI? He's like, yeah, so we call it the pucker indicator. Like, what are you in for? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to move 50,000? Well, how much do you want to lose? 50,000? Because that's how much you could lose. You know what I mean? It's real estate. It's not for sure thing, but if you're willing to take some of those risks, the rewards can be, very beneficial. And I think you're not dumb, but you've risked things before. You know what I mean? You've thrown out there. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that, hey, you're like, Gerard, are you capable of doing this? You're like, yes. And if I can do it, I'm going to find a way. And I think that's what's awesome about you, is that you're willing to take some risk and put yourself out there. It's going to be a lot of work, but you're going to get it done at the end of the day.
Well, you know what? It's all calculated risk, right? We're talking about calculated investments. It's calculated risk. So you look at the risk and versus reward, right? I mean, it's real simple. And you say, hey, look, I'm willing to risk 50K, whatever, but the reward looks really, really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then you do enough deals, or like we're doing a lot of deals. And you look at the where you're winning at a lot. I mean, big wins, and you're able to more now, and maybe not look at the numbers.
Yeah.
No, but you really risk a little bit more, because you're like, man, I'm winning so much on these other investments. Man, now I'm willing to risk. So what I learned too is that, yes, I still have to be as thorough process as I was for the first one. So that's different. But yeah, the risk is always there. But if it's calculated and you think it's worth it, then yeah, you always you jump.
Yeah, and I think that's good. That's good for all of us. And I think all of us too in Mobros, we have different risk things that we think about. Like, we're not all the same risk tolerance as individually we would be. You know what I mean? But collectively, it's different. Collectively, it's like, let's go ahead and do this. You know what I mean? Let's make something happen. If we can't make it happen, but we know the numbers very well, and we all take a round table and say, okay, well, what do you think about this, and what do you think about that? And like I said, maybe individually our risk tolerance is not the same, but collectively, I think it is. When you have backup, he's like, okay, yeah, we can do that, or let's do this. So. I definitely want to be doing this on my own. That's for sure. And I think the first person, if you wanted to get started out, like, have a team. You know what I mean? Have a trust team that you can bounce ideas off of, because if you're going by yourself, man, lone wolfing it, and it's going to be hard on you, because you're not going to be able to assess your things that yourself, it's by yourself. It's very hard to analyze up and down, So team.
No, you're right. That fish tank, that teamwork you're talking about, it's great. I could bounce ideas off you, and you're like, okay, great. And Gabriel, Gabriel has a lot of knowledge, so bounce ideas off Gabriel. Gary has his input. We're like, hey, Gary, we're able to talk and say, what, this might be a better way to approach it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Think about that.
Yeah.
Or what about this? Why don't we try that? Or what's your really goal in this? Do you want to sit? Do you want to flip? Do you want to, a hotel?
We came
kind of.
I think we came up with that solution with that one property that we're going to do. We were thinking, I think me and you were like, let's do a big flip. You know what I mean? Let's get some money and all this stuff. And then we go to Gabriel, and Gabriel's like, how about we do a cosmetic thing and just get in? We're in ahead already. Why don't we just go ahead and do a little bit of work and get it retail, and then we can sell it for that way. And, which is a better idea, to get money off the table, off the fire pit. And then we're kind of like, let's move it around and make it quicker. Because, our idea would have been like, probably 3 months, working with somebody to get it done, and still probably be ahead, but it would make more sense the way Gabriel was explaining it. Like, let's do that, because that's a better retail buy for 5,000 than do a 20,000-30,000 rehab, where we could run into problems, and but still get a little bit more money, but still be a risk to do it and it's just easier to kind of move it and get it out of the way, and go forward that way. So I thought that was a good strategy session we had the last time with it.
You know what? He was able to look at the big picture. He
Yeah.
was able to. Well, me and you were looking at one avenue. He kind of sat
Yeah.
back and kind of heard us out, and then looked at the big picture.
Yeah.
Philadelphia has markets. You know, let's turn it quick, get that money, do another deal, and within that time frame, we would make more profit versus, you know, trying to make that big profit off of one where we could do a couple and make more. So he was able to see that, to do that. But it's good to have that different perspective. Not a lot of people have that team. Not a lot of people have that knowledgeable person or people that they can bounce ideas off of. You know, I think we all have our own insight on different things, and it all helps, and all of us help. So
Yeah,
if you're out there, if anybody's investing, I'm telling you, this is the right place to come. You know, because we'll take your idea too. Great. You know, if it's a better idea than ours, we'll use it. You know, the best idea wins. It's not you know, it's not a dictatorship here. You know, the best idea wins.
You know, and it's interesting. We have a lot of people that we know that are sitting on cash, and you know, and be like, oh, I don't want to spend it. I want to wait for this, want to wait for that. And I kept telling them, the faster you move your money, the more money it makes. You know what I mean? The velocity of cash that you can move out of a market, the faster you can do it, the more money you can make. You know, you let it sit for 6 months, or you let it sit in a bank or something like that. Like, you know, it's great. You know, you can hold on to it. That's fine. I was like, but if you can move that money quicker, you can really triple, double, quadruple that money, you know, in a span of a year and a half. And all of a sudden, $20,000 investment has grown to like $120,000 investment. And it's not just me just talking like, hey, this is, you know, we're talking deals, this is how it works. But it's more about just, if you can move that money, the faster you can move the money, the more multiple. It's called currency for a reason. You know what I mean? It's supposed to move. It's supposed to flow. It's not called, you know, stationary brick money. It's called currency. So the faster you can get that money moving, the more you can get out of it, you know. And then Gerard's really big philosophy about let's keep this thing rolling, because like a snowball effect, you know, it starts with a small snowball, but the faster you moving it downhill, it just starts attracting more and more and more, and by the time you get to the end, you know, you have this big pile of cash, you know, at the very end of it, which is the goal, you know what I mean? But it just makes a lot of sense doing it that way, you know, instead of just letting it sit.
Yeah, no, you know me, Jeff. I'm big on. I'm not the biggest risk taker. I mean, maybe I am the biggest risk taker out of mobiles, but I know I've seen it be successful as far as dumping money into advertisement or into whatever it is, and having a good outcome from it. So I'm kind of past that fear or that risk. I'm able to risk them more now, just seeing it. And I hope that the other investors or other people that want to come on with us, you want to do a deal with us, however you want to work with us, see our track record and sees, wow, look, they're doing some good things, you know, with their I think they can be able to help me out too. So hopefully they can see that, and we can grow more.
I like the best when like I text you guys and they're like, man, those are really good deals. And I'm like, those are the deals we have. They're like, oh yeah, that's right. You're like, jump on,
let's do it.
These are the deals we have. Like, we got these deals already. You're like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, no, it's funny. By the way, Gerard is not me with no hair. That's not the way it works, because we do not look alike. Or whatever. We were on a Zoom meeting a couple of weeks ago, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, I thought you were like two screening it or something." I was like, "What? Like, no, we don't even look alike. You know what I mean? Not even close. I don't think." But anyways, but it's all about, it's, you know, it's just funny because everybody's like, oh, me and Gerard are doing this, by the way. Also, by the way, I've been drinking Ocean Spray. I don't want to have but I drink it straight out of the bottle. There's a video going about a guy drinking Ocean Spray out of the bottle. That's me too. I do that all the time. So I think it's a great idea. By the way, I don't know. I don't care. Just if anybody sees it, they're like, where's this glass at? I'm like, dude, I drink straight out the bottle, bro. Ocean Spray back in the day. But anyways, but like talking about like monies and making deals and stuff, and like those two talking about, George talking about like investors and things like that, we could send you an email. I'll show you what we have so far. If you want to just take a look at, and these are stuff that we've already signed already. We already closed on them. So if you want to take a look at any portfolio sheet that we have, I can give you guys one, just PM me, DM or whatever, and I can tell you what we got and show you that this is a great way to do it. And we're not BSing about some of the stuff we find, and come with us and join Mobros, and you can turn that cash, that small amount of cash you might have, make you a property owner, make you more money on that money than you would expect to. So. But that's it. So anyways, also coming new, Gerard, I got some, I'm going to meet the guy tomorrow. We're going to get those hoodies, and I'll be wearing one probably next time we talk. Did you see those, Gerard?
Okay.
The Mobros hoodies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be wearing one next time. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send
one if you got one.
Well, it's got my phone number down there. It's the 856 number. So, but if you want to wear it around San Antonio, I'm guessing. I'll send him down. I think I got like 4, so I'll send them down. I think, Jackie wants one, so I'll give, and then I'll send you guys one downstairs too. Because it's getting cold up here. Not cold like San Antonio cold, where it's like 60 degrees and it's cold. It's getting like cold down here. So, and I'm glad the gym's opening back up, so I'm not running outside because I do not well in the cold outside. So, not at all. But anyways, but yeah, I think it's going to be a busy week this week. So I'll be able to post stuff about what we're closing on, and also posting deals about what we have, so I can sell some of the stuff that we got that we're going to close on. So it'll be pretty good week, pretty good, interesting, fast week this week. I'm going to try to hold my breath because it's Friday's going to come quick. So I want to make sure we have, enough time to do everything. So, and we're going to try to push it. So. That's what we're gonna do.
Yep. All right, it was nice talking to you, Jeff. Man, we'll talk later, and we'll update the guys. Update everybody. Yep.
Cool. Well, it's a great interview on StreamYard. Let's go ahead and we'll do this again at some point. During the week or whatever, when you have time. I know you're busy, man. Football coaching, doing all the things, all the stuff down there. So, but we'll do a good StreamYard talk again, probably by Friday, and we'll see how it went. we'll see where we're at, and make sure everything's closed up and ready to go. So, all right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Sure, man.